Wow, that's a tough act to follow. Such great information. I was a former physical education and health teacher for 20 years. So much of what Allyson just shared resonates so much with what I've done in the past and, of course, with what I'm doing now. And I am at the Orange County Department of Education, focused on staff well-being using the Thriving Schools integrated assessment. And this is a staff well-being series. And some of you here may be wondering, why are we talking about physical education, physical activity and students? And well, because it all really does tie together, right? You saw Allyson sort of lead into talking about calming practices and gratitude practices. So we know physical education, physical activity, these things are connected because we are a whole person, right? So we're talking about the whole child and the whole person, and we're able to use this tool called the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment in order to measure some of these practices that we have. So maybe you're thinking, why should we use it, right? How does this all tie into staff well-being? How are we going to, get all of these practices straight in our heads and be able to incorporate them into our daily practices in our district and in our schools? Well, first of all, we can go to the next slide. What is the TSIA, right? The TSIA, short for Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment. It is a free, easily accessible, self-paced tool for you to discover strengths and areas of opportunity. It's not a test. It's not an evaluation. It's a comprehensive tool that helps schools and districts. So there's two different versions. There's a district version and there's a school version. It helps you to identify and achieve health and learning goals that fit your priorities, capacity, and unique needs. You can engage with the tool at any level and pace that works for you. You can use it to track progress. There are reporting features, and there's actually a workspace for folks that are working in teams. We had Allyson was talking about, do you have a team that's focused on making these improvements, not just necessarily focused on physical education and physical activity, but a whole team in your school or at your district level that is focused on the whole child, because we should all be working together. And this assessment is designed to show you where folks that work in different topic areas have influence on each other's goals, right? Because we're talking about the whole child and they're all interconnected. So that's the unique part of this assessment, is it shows where some of those connections are. So if we go to the next slide, you'll see that these are the 14 areas of, the slide before, the 14 areas of the assessment. Today, we were talking about bolstering physical education and physical activity. So we know that physical education programs supports a culture that loves movement, and students that move more, learn more, and have less behavioral issues. And don't we think that that helps staff well-being? It sure does. And also, there are a lot of PE folks in the room or in our virtual room right now. There's no better person to show teachers how to incorporate physical activity into the classroom than you. And of course, by default of your title, you are the person in your school that represents wellness. So we love to see you using these resources and tools to promote these various practices and policies. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and show you. So if you were in the last session, hopefully you've created your account here with the Alliance for a Healthier Generation. If not, you have access to that previous session within our folder of shares, and we include that in our list of resources. And of course, you can reach out to me as well. My contact information will be shared at the end of the presentation today. But you can create a free account here at the Alliance for a Healthier Generation, and your district and your school is already listed in here. If you're a school member, you will join a school when you join. If you are a district member, you will join your district, and you go ahead and use drop downs to find your district or school. And then you will have a dashboard associated, such as this one that you see here. So this is the bread district. It's a test district. So here is the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment that we've been discussing here today. And here is the Bolstering Physical Education and Physical Activity section. And I would click that open, and here are the various practices and policies that we would want to include to bolster physical education and physical activity. So at the district level, we have a variety of things related to what Allyson was sharing. And at the school level, it focuses on the same things, but more on the implementation side. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down here. And I did want to show you that if you belong to a district and you are on your dashboard, when you scroll down, we have access to all of your schools within your district. So you can click into their dashboards and see the kind of things how they're answering the questions, what is it in their action plans if they're using this tool, what kind of improvements they're focused on making so you can support them. So here I am now in a school, and I'm going to click on that Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment. Again, bolstering physical education and physical activity. And then we have these questions and best practices, some of them of which Allyson alluded to earlier, right? And if you notice here at the bottom, we talked about how it's integrated. We also have some SEH questions here, which refer to social emotional health, because again, it's integrated and we're showing within this topic where the practices are connected to each other, all right? But for example, we talked about inclusion in physical activity, right? Best practice. So we click into that question, we read the question, we read the fully in place criteria, and then we answer the question as accurately as we possibly can. Here on the right side, we have resources related to that question. There is also an action planning tool where we can add tasks and also add notes if I want to communicate with my team. On the left side menu here, we also have an area for resources, pages for resources, and also for the training center. So if you're interested in learning more about the Thriving Schools Integrated Assessment and the work that we are doing in both counties of education, please be sure to reach out for me for Orange County and Mariam and her team at LACOE.